Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode, just as promised, we've got the World Cup for you here finally, as we qualified in the last episode. So if you did miss that episode, then please do go ahead and check it out. We did beat Slovakia to finally qualify for the World Cup, and now we are here in Russia in the 2018 World Cup. So as you can see, we are playing Germany, so we did get a kind of a tough group. But just to quickly, we have a lot of things to go through today. So just to quickly show you, we've got Iran and Paraguay, England and Germany is our group. Now, of course, we should be qualifying because if we beat Paraguay and Iran, we're safe, even if we lose to Germany. But we are starting off with Germany, so that kind of sets the tone of what's expected. So just to give you some perspective, they expect us just to reach the second round. So I think if we just qualify from Group B, that means we will reach the second round. We don't have any high expectations for this competition, but I reckon we can get further than the second round. But in terms of who we selected, now that was a bit of a tough decision in some areas, but in some areas it was a little bit straightforward. So we'll start off with goalkeepers as always. And Fraser Foster, Joe Hart and Butland was kind of straightforward. Now, the only other, it's Pickford and Heaton, but Heaton's back in the championship, so we can't really select him anymore. And Pickford, unfortunately for him, he misses out just because Butland's gotten he's gotten his Stoke team into some better areas, basically, a better position in the table rather, to be more accurate. So they actually ended the season in 9th, so we went with Jack Butland instead. And I think it's also because Butland's got some more international caps than Pickford, really. That helps as well. But anyways, in terms of defenders, the left back, Luke Shaw and Baines. Now this is where there was a bit of a disappointment. It was actually Luke Shaw and Danny Rose initially selected. He had a great season, played Champions League football as well. I'm not sure why it's not showing now. Unfortunately for him, he picked up an injury midway through our friendlies, actually. It was really bad. It was actually our friendlies when we already selected him for the World Cup as well. So Leighton Baines came up instead of Aaron Cresswell. Both of them had incredible seasons, but again, Baines has helped Everton go further in the Premier League than Cresswell's West Ham, who actually are, I think, gotten relegated. So we've gone for Baines. Also, the international experience is great, and he's possibly, most likely going to retire after this international tournament anyways. He's in his 30s. Why not? If he gets a good World Cup run in, then why not? Anyways, right backs, kind of straightforward again. Klein and Walker, just as we have been doing for a little while now. We did that in the past couple of friendlies. He's really kind of stepped ahead of the likes of Ward. Trippier and Flanagan just not getting any game time. Ward's had a decent season in the beginning, and that's why we were selecting him. He did get 4 caps, but unfortunately he didn't end his season as well as Kyle Walker, who did get a lot of European experience as well in the Champions League. But more importantly, his form was a tiny bit better, so he edges out, as well as Tottenham being, of course, higher up in the league than Crystal Palace. Centre-backs, though, very disappointing. Still ongoing, the sort of issues we're having. Smalling, Jones, Keane and Jones. Smalling, Stones, Keane and Jones, kind of rhymes. All of those should be competing with Shawcross for the spots in the centre-back position, but unfortunately none of them make it. Instead, it's just Shawcross who makes it. And so we've had to go with Steve Cook, Gary Cahill and Simon Francis. Not, an ideal situation, but unfortunately Smalling, Stones, Keane and Jones all don't actually play for the clubs frequently enough at all. Smalling, just 7 Premier League starts. We played the 38 Premier League games already because it is summer, so they should make, according to my criteria anyways, if they just start half of those Premier League games, they do get selected first. So that's how poorly they're doing. Stones get pretty close to that, but too many substitute appearances for my liking, especially considering that he is a centre-back. He should be starting more games than, in other positions such as wingers and strikers and whatnot. Keane as well, same thing. His worst move ever was moving to Arsenal. He's probably valued a lot more and possibly making a lot more money, but he's gone down to a rotational option, and so he really isn't making enough Premier League games at all. Just the 3 starts is very poor. Even worse for Jones, of course, the rotational option at United. Hopefully these players move on to lower clubs. I don't have an issue picking them at lower clubs. I'm just hoping that they do move on for the sake of game time, and then I can start selecting them again. So Steve Cook, Cahill and Francis were the best backup players who played the most this season. Francis is always in incredible form no matter what, and he's played 38 Premier League games, all of them the most, and with the 7.2 average form, you can't really complain. Gary Cahill, international experience, he's kind of why he got the nod over some of the other ones, and again, it could be his last international performance, I suppose. In midfield, kind of straightforward with Ali, Dyer, Henderson and Lallana being our first choices, but the backup choices where we struggle a little bit. Wilshere's back at Arsenal, so he's not really playing a lot. Sterling, Lingard still struggling for game time, so the backups we've gone for are Drinkwater, Barkley, Shelvey and Noble. Now Drinkwater and Noble are deserving of it. Shelvey and Barkley haven't had incredible seasons, they've had decent ones, but they get the nod ahead of some other ones because of their international experience as well as because of their actual roles. Also, they've helped their teams in good places, to be fair, Everton and Newcastle, but at the same time, you know, their roles suit our tactics a little bit more, so that way they edge the other players. They've also gotten the game time that's necessary. They have played more than half the Premier League games, so you know, this might not be in best of form, but at least they're playing, that kind of thing. So in terms of strikers, a little bit disappointing again. Kane, Vardy and Wilson and Berahino. Now Kane, Vardy, Berahino are included relatively regularly, but Wilson not so much. But Wilson does get the nod as one of the backups who's played really well this season and played a lot of games. Berahino squeezing in ahead of Dini, even though Dini's had a better season. Unfortunately, he's out for a couple months, 2 to 4 weeks now, but you know, the World Cup's already started, so we had to drop him. I think medical actually considered that he is okay for the World Cup, but it was very risky that he would only make the latter stages if we did actually even qualify from our group and whatnot, so we left him out. Sturridge, of course, should be playing consistently for England alongside Kane, but unfortunately 5 starts just not good enough at Liverpool, and considering his status of a first teamer, he's really not playing enough. But yeah, in terms of the games that went, so we only showed you the Slovakia game, actually not even that one. We're just going to quickly run through them. So we did play Slovakia over here. We beat Scotland after that game, which we didn't show you. Austin and Vardy of all players on the scoreline. We did lose back-to-back in Belgium and against Belgium and Slovenia in the November friendlies. Don't think my players cared too much about it, but unfortunately for us, they did do well in the March friendlies against Georgia and Slovakia, and we also beat Venezuela and Kuwait just to get warmed up for the World Cup. So we've got Germany, Paraguay and Iran. I think we'll just show you Germany and Paraguay for today's episode. You know, if we've qualified by then, great. Then we'll just show you the the second round game instead. But if we don't qualify, if we haven't qualified just yet, rather than not qualifying, then we will have to show you the Iran game as well, of course. If it depends on that game, basically. So let's see. Basically, we'll try and show you our qualification process. So this is the team we've gone for. Our straight best 11. We've got Kane, Berahino. Berahino's edging out Vardy in terms of performances in the league. Lallana's just kind of straightforward. Midfield sorted itself for quite a while now. It's the most stable position in our team. Shaw and Klein kind of straightforward as well. Baines is just about the same ability as Shaw, but I just want to give Shaw a bit more of a chance. He's also played incredibly well as played in Europe, so that gives him the edge. But I just want to give Shaw some faith as well in that he is going to be our left back for the next decade or so. Francis and Shawcross is our best centre-back pairing, especially because Francis is a ball-playing defender. We've got backups in Steve Cook and Gary Cahill is the ball-playing defender in that sense as well. Hart beats Fossa, played a little bit better than him for City as well, of course. So let's get into today's game. Tactics still the same. I actually checked before the World Cup to see if we could actually change tactics, see whether our strengths have gone elsewhere. You know, some players' abilities have increased, some have decreased. So I just need to I check just about every season to see whether we should change tactics to suit the best players at our clubs or, you know, now the national team. And the 4-1-2-1-2 still makes the most sense. There's also an option of switching to a 4-3-3, which is 3 centre midfielders and 3 strikers. That was an option as well, but I think 4-1-2-1-2 gives us more balance, and I like to play with more possession side rather than direct. So Germany playing the 4-2-3-1. Of course, as you can see, none of the players we can recognize because of the ongoing issues between Football Manager and the German players not getting the license and whatnot. So there's still incredible strength. It's just that the names have changed. So don't overthink it, basically. So it'll be an interesting battle basically against Germany. Hopefully it is a rivalry in the end of the day, so hopefully we can perform. And I think that would be our best bet. Let's encourage our players actually, rather than being assertive. Now, we're not home or away technically, so we do have to be in that weird neutral ground where we're giving motivation as well as possibly criticizing at the same time. But yeah, definitely not favourites for today's game against Germany. A point would be a very solid performance, but I'm hoping for more. And World Cup winners, of the last World Cup, as everyone knows, in real life. So we're going to try and somehow end the campaign early. and early stats show that we actually are doing quite decently against the world champions. So, can we do more than decently? 0-0 is what we're looking for, or even 1-1, a draw basically end of the day. But Kane has an early chance. Unfortunately, he couldn't score. That's the first clear-cut chance of the game. But yeah, a draw would be the ideal result. The dream result is a win, of course, and a poor result would be a loss. It wouldn't be the end of the world, of course. If we still beat Iran and Paraguay, we should qualify in second place. But we're trying to squeeze into that first place ahead of Germany, and hopefully we'll get an easy team in that sense. Berahino, though, on the way. Can he find an early ball into Kane? Yes, he can. And there you go. The perfect result has started. So 1-0 to England in the 23rd minute. Or 24th if you round it out, as they normally do. And suddenly, Germany have to go on attack. Hopefully our counter can deal with that. And that's exactly what I like to say, why I like to start on the counter. So if you score on the counter early on, the opposition team has to, go on to attack. And that way we can counter them even better. And, we've got 2 clear-cut chances to Germany's 1, so how can we really complain? And actually, let's watch this highlight before I tell Luke Shaw to calm down. Can Berahino score? Yes, he can, and there you go, early damage to Germany. Hopefully, my players just don't become complacent. Berahino's been amazing for us, by the way, in the friendlies that you guys did miss out on. He actually has played incredibly well. He's linking up with Kane just too well. I mean, look at that goal and assist for both our strikers, and that's what we want to see in this formation. We want to get the best out of our strikers, and thankfully Berahino, he does, even though he can play the complete forward support role, he just does too well in advance forward. If you are playing with England, I would suggest selecting him because he just does too well, and alongside Kane, who plays that support role really well. It's the perfect partnership kind of thing. So normally I tell my players to be complacent, but they're winning a game they weren't expected to win, so you can't ask for too much. They'll actually get demotivated if I tell them off. So 2-0 is the halftime score. Can we do that? Can we keep that till full time is the question. Can the players keep their concentration? There's an immediate highlight after that first half. I'm guessing the manager told them off, and we might see some Germany retribution here. And that's exactly what we've seen. So, immediately regret telling my players not to get too carried away, but I just couldn't tell them off after that first half. Germany have created 2 clear-cut chances, but I think that was literally just now. And again, there's a 48th minute highlight, and I'm hoping it's not Germany's way, but it really points in that direction. Henderson does well to win it though. Kane, can you get an end of this? We just need to really put Germany back on the back foot. They started poorly, and we need to make sure they actually don't make anything of that first goal of theirs. Berahino, can you do that for us again? Klein instead. Good ball into the box. No, unfortunately not. Second go though. Kane. Deli. Yes. And there you go. That's exactly what we were looking for. Thankfully now we've given ourselves a little bit more cushion. And we might have just about ended Germany's hopes. We can't get too carried away. But a 3-1 result against the world champions in the first game of the World Cup is a great start, I would say, and hopefully we can match those results against Iran and Paraguay. But Germany are on the attack here. They're not going to try and roll over easily. Can we steal it? Yes, we can. Berahino, send Kane on his way. No, plays it to Lallana instead, and Shawcross finds Kane instead. Can he play him through? Dele Alli instead. But he loses the ball, and that's poor considering the pressure we're under now. There you go. Just crowded out. Kane, Lallana, Klein. Alright, just keeping the ball, which is good. But Kane finds Berahino, and there you go, that's 4-1. And suddenly, we're dominating the game. And the more the game goes on, the more Germany gets humiliated, the more they feel the need to go even more attacking, and that way we can counter to the best of our ability. We're going to take off Luke Shaw. He's on a yellow and he's tired. Well, not exactly tired, but anyone under 75 I consider for substitution. It's been the 60th minute. Let's give Bain some game time. Save Shaw for the next games. And we'll consider some substitutions in the 70th minute onwards. So, Shawcross finds Lallana. And Germany are on the attack here. Still on their attacking formation, so I wouldn't completely rule them out just yet, but I would assume we should be able to handle them. Saying that, oof. I'm not sure how that happened, but somehow it's our goal kick, so I don't think Joe Hart actually saved that. I think we just got saved by the the post. Lallana through to Kane. Yes, Kane, come on, take him on. Ball into the box. Berahino. It's actually getting a bit embarrassing at this rate. I feel like that Germany-Brazil result is actually what we're going to go on to. But every possible justification that we needed for our tactics and for the players we selected, everything's going well so far. It is still really early in the World Cup, of course. In the end of the day, this is just one result, so we can't get too carried away. But if you beat the World Cup champions 5-1, you can kind of be happy about yourself, you know, pat yourself on the back and whatnot. But what a performance from the players. I really never expected this. I thought we'd get a draw, in truth, and if we were going to win, I thought it would be a 1-0 result at best, but somehow it's 5-1 with 25 minutes or so to go. And I really don't know what's going on. But considering Paraguay and Iran drew, that's actually the ideal result for us. In any game we play, we want the other teams in our group to be playing to get draws, basically. So Berahino is the man of the match, and he should get subbed off. It's only fair. Hat-trick against Germany, what more do you want? He is the best rated player out of the players who are tired from here onwards. And I think Kane as well, 3 assists, he should get some rest as well. Save them for the next game, and there you go. Those are our last 2 substitutions in the 70th minute. At this rate, really, I'm just hoping the game sims right through to the end. Not for the sake of just winning, of course for winning, but at the same time I just want to end this game so we can get into the next game, so this episode's not too long. But yeah, 82nd minute, and we are going to get a highlight still. Lallana's injured, but unfortunately we have used our subs. Hopefully he can hang on until the end, but it'll be quite disappointing to lose him. He's played a lot of games for Liverpool, he's played them well as well. So I don't want to lose him in any sense of that form. That huge deflection, I think that was, takes the shot past Hart, and Germany think that they can actually do something here. But considering they've gone off their attacking, okay, they've gone back onto it now. I think they think they can actually do something. But there's 3 minutes here, so hopefully that's the end of that. And the game says 3 clear-cut chances for Germany, but I think whoever watched this game can clearly tell, and after that Baines free kick, clearly tell that England have completely and utterly dominated Germany 6-2. And Lallana, as you can see, has suffered a pulled hamstring. Quite disappointing, but without a doubt, special result. We've got a goal difference of 4 already within the first game, and Germany have dropped all the way to the bottom after that result, and it'll be hard seeing them recover from that, but I'm guessing against Paraguay and Iran they should be okay. Now my team normally have issues against so-called smaller teams, you know, teams that they're expected to beat, so hopefully they don't get complacent. Something that my English players always do is they get complacent, so hopefully we can keep them, you know, on their toes. And if we get the results against Paraguay and Iran, that'd be great. But we are playing in Paraguay first, and we'll be showing you that game. If we beat them, we will have qualified. And so just hold on a moment while I sim, and we'll be back in just a moment's time. So welcome back, guys. As promised, of course, we still do have the game against Paraguay, so just hold on for that. But we do have some things to go through, such as making sure, you know, which players to pick and whatnot. They have had a couple of days rest, so it's a little bit surprising seeing some of them a little bit tired. But yeah, we do have to, of course, as you can see, Lallana, if you missed out on the last episode, he was expected to be out for 2 weeks. Now it's just 8 to 11 days. So hopefully he'll join us if we do qualify from the group. But his backup was Ross Barkley. So hopefully Ross Barkley, despite his indifferent form for Everton, hopefully he can do well for us. And, you know, in a preferred advanced playmaker role, he should definitely do well there. I mean, it says he's better in midfield, but I think advanced playmaker, pushing him up, shouldn't make too much of a difference, and he's good there. So we'll just go one by one, seeing if our players need any rest. It looks like Klein does. Shawcross as well. Simon Francis should be okay. Steve Cook was his backup, and I think Steve Cook has made a couple of international caps for us during the friendlies, which you guys missed out on. Dyer needs a bit of rest as well, so Noble should come in. It's a bit of a backup team, I suppose. It's shaping up to be one anyways, but we should still definitely get the result. Dele Alli is actually the only one who's match fit. Kane needs some rest as well, so bring on Wilson, Berahino. I was hoping after that hat-trick it will be okay, but Vardy and Wilson should do a decent job, and that looks like a team capable of beating Paraguay, but that's the funny thing about football. So Shaw and Henderson are both of them yellow cards away from missing out the third game. Hopefully Shaw doesn't get yellow, but Henderson is on the bench, so really no excuses to come off the bench and somehow still get a yellow. As you can see, the odds expert thinks that there's not much difference between our two teams. I would argue differently, but either way, he's still gone for the England victory. And after that Germany defeat, or the defeat of Germany rather, I would love to see a similar performance, and that's exactly what I'm going to convey to my players. Pass that message on, just to pick up where they left off, and that'd be great. So both teams opting to go for a 4-4-2. The only difference is the variation, of course. We're going with a 4-1-2-1-2, you know, the 4-4-2 diamond basically, and hopefully advanced playmaker Barkley should have a field day against the 4-4-2, because he's going to operate in that space just behind the central midfielders, so he really should have a lot of fun there. And of course our midfield should dominate theirs, and hopefully their wingers have a bad game. But Dele Alli though has a chance to do something here. Instead he loses the ball out to Walter, and Paraguay are suddenly on the attack, but we're outnumbered them safely. It looks like they're the ones playing on the counter, so both teams starting relatively conservatively, I suppose. But Dele Alli's got a chance to make up for men's. Barkley finds Wilson, and there you go. England 1, Paraguay 0. That's his first goal for England as well. He's been called up a couple of times. Let's actually have a look. Yeah, 7 caps, but that's his first goal, and what a time to score for it, just to secure England's qualification. Well, hopefully anyways, if the game ends as is, but he at least started off in a good way. They've, as you can see, the Paraguay have pushed up into an attacking 4-4-2 now. Looks like they're serious business, but Walker plays it safely to Hart, and hopefully we can score a second. Barkley finds Wilson, finds Barkley again. It's a bit of a 1-2 between the two. Drink water, Dele Alli. Alright, we're just keeping possession here, which is great, exactly what we intended. Dele through to Vardy. Vardy, for some reason, he's missed that, and that's the first clear-cut chance of the game. I don't even know what's going on. I think it was probably because he took it with his left foot. Either way, still 1-0 to us, and kind of cruising this game really. Plenty of domination in terms of stats, but the only stat that matters is the one over here, and it's only a 1-0 result. Considering how we were beating Germany 3-1 by now, I think it's a little bit of a disappointment, I suppose. Dele Alli is exhausted by the time we reach half time, and we might have to consider subbing him off already. I think I would rather do that. He's had a great game. Normally I like to sub off in the 60th minute, but let's give him some rest and save him for some more important games. We'll bring on Shelby, and hopefully we can see more from our players. I think saying there's room for improvement is probably a little bit harsh, but considering it's just 1-0, you're never safe, are you? And look at the formation Paraguay have gone for. So they've really tried to shore up their defense, shore up their midfield at the same time. They've completely switched tactics, and that can completely change the game. Hopefully it doesn't for us. And it seems to haven't really made any effect in terms of stats, but all you need is one chance, isn't it? Alright, so we're coming up to the 60th minute, and we'll be looking to rest some more players. And for God's sake, When Wilson's injured. Hopefully it's not a big injury, it's a potential foot, but this is not ideal. I want to give Kane as much rest as possible, and now we can't afford to give some of the other players some rest. So considering it's 1-0, Simon Francis and Barkley have had just as good of a game, and both are tired, but I think we're gonna have to rest Simon Francis because we're gonna try and hold on to that 1-0 win, aren't we? So some international experience will be helpful as well, and that way we save. You know what? I just realised it's a little bit late now, but I just realised Barkley doesn't actually have a backup, so we kind of needed to keep him fresh. With Lallana injured, he doesn't have someone to come in for him. Vardy's had a terrible game after that one clear-cut chance. I think it's a bit harsh, but probably he's not playing so well with his link-up either. But maybe he can make amends here. Drink water. Compared to the Germany game, this is just really boring. But either way, Walker, somehow, I don't know what the hell's going on in this game, but he's hit the post from a cross. And no one's attacked that, including Vardy. All that matters now is the 3 points for us to get qualified. Paraguay's stats have improved a little bit, so we're kind of tempted to go into contain, but maybe we can make the most of this highlight. Barkley, Kane, take him on, nope, loses the ball instead, and Paraguay are on the attack. Somehow, who was that who missed his header? Hopefully Tommy's shot doesn't go in. Cahill's missed his header, yeah, okay, thankfully. I don't even know what Cahill was doing. He should, I can't believe he missed that header, because that's pretty much basic defending. I think we'll go into contain now, just because suddenly they're creating half chances and whatnot. So let's try and get everyone onto a sort of more supportive defending role. And I think we should see out this game quite comfortably. Alright, ref, just blow your whistle, please. Oh, there you go. Alright, fine. Thought they might actually score in the last second. Okay, so a little bit of a disappointing end to the episode, I suppose, but not so disappointing because we have qualified, and that means we won't have to show you the Iran game. I'm hoping I'm not mistaken about being qualified, but oh, Manchester United sign Hazard. That always happens for some reason in the game. But yeah, that should mean we've qualified. I'm not 100% sure, but I am pretty sure. I'm not sure, you know, after the last time. Yep, there you go. We've qualified for the second round. So we don't have to show you the Iran game, so that's good. That's the pleasing aspect of that second game there. Not the prettiest in terms of football, but still got the result needed, and we've qualified with a game to spare, and we can relax in that last game against Iran. Hopefully the players don't. I still want to win, but you know, we can at least not feel the pressure so much. And if we qualify, having, you know, been the first, Germany have won their game, so you know, we do still have to stay on our toes so that we don't, you know, unless they score 6 goals, of course, but either way, you still do have to stay on our toes so that we can end first in the group. So just to give you, not all the games I've played, but maybe so you can see the groups, how they're shaping up. Russia's leading the Italy, Japan and Egypt group. We're leading ours, of course. Spain, as expected, they've only played 1 game. Spain and USA managing to win their games, and Holland are looking to lose or miss out early. Chile, Portugal, kind of expected as well. South Korea and Senegal should have been tough opposition, but not for the likes of Chile and Portugal apparently. Australia leading their group against Cameroon, Uruguay and France. A very unexpected thing to happen, but again, just 1 game played. Croatia managing to beat Czech Republic 2-0, and Argentina only drawing with Costa Rica. That's a little bit surprising, but Belgium have won their game. Jamaica have made the World Cup somehow, and credit to Mexico and Denmark for both leading their groups. Mexico, the ones that actually beat Brazil, so decent so far. So we won't be back for the Iran game. We'll actually be back for the second round game. No clue who that actually be, because the draw hasn't been done, but you will find out in the next episode. So if you know, just hang on till the next episode, basically till tomorrow. So if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always, thank you guys for watching.